best of nines in order to take home the championship.
Oh, yeah.
But here you go.
Here we go, guys. The map is Daybreak, and down in the bottom left, we have our blue Terran player from Team Liquid. Can he get them a lead in this best of nine? It is TaeJa. He took down a GSL champion. Can he take down someone prepared specifically to beat him? And that individual is our red Protoss player at the top right part of the map. From the Team Incredible Miracle, it is YongHwa.
All right, so YongHwa making his way in, and again, we knew that IM was going to be preparing a couple of snipers. We have to assume that this is one of them right now, but what sort of strategy will he go for? This is a map that's pretty versatile for both of these players, actually. We've seen Terrans pull off some pretty significant cheese here. A lot of times they'll hide barracks down underneath, in between the natural and third, if they decide to proxy Marauders or something like that. We've even seen TaeJa do that and take some pretty quick games in this tournament.
Yeah, it's completely possible. I mean, ever since 4GG did it against, I can't remember who he did it against on this map, that double barracks into proxy bunkers, it's been an option. I mean, if the Protoss player goes for something like Nexus first, which YongHwa, you know, he is a player that has played a lot of longer games. You know, if he does that, then TaeJa could punish it. Cool over-the-shoulder view of TaeJa, that's kind of neat. And YongHwa actually, I believe, is the player that I saw play a 65-minute PvT against Liquid Jinro back in the day. And there is the Team Liquid bench, looking excited.
And looks like TaeJa is going to build his command center pretty far away. We've seen him do this on Ohana, actually, in our tournament. So he's going to give YongHwa pause for thought here. It's going to be a while before YongHwa is able to pick up on this. He may think, oh, God, where are the proxy barracks going to be? And we'll see how much this throws him off.
He almost saw it, but I absolutely love this opening from TaeJa, is that here's a situation you're in early on in Terran versus Protoss. If you want to go command center first, a lot of Terrans have been building it on the low ground, and he's trying to fake out YongHwa right there with that SCV, trying to draw him away, but it's not working. So basically, YongHwa's like, all right, if you're if you're just command center first thing, where is it? Okay, so he does find it. So here's what I was saying. Basically, now TaeJa's going to have to pull another SCV to defend this, right? And the mining time that he's going to lose from that, and scouting time as well, is probably going to about equal what it would have been to build that command center in the main and then float it down. And oh, that SCV barely escaping. But just, you can see how annoying it is. Once Protoss does scout that command center for you to pull, TaeJa did lose, you know, that mining time with those SCVs. So he took a bit of a gamble, tried to fake out his opponent, didn't quite work. I like that positioning. If you're going to build it out of your base, might as well build it there instead of, you know, at the natural expansion to try to avoid that harassment. Unfortunately, YongHwa's scouting just a little bit too good that time.
It was, but it still did a couple of things to him, probably threw YongHwa off a little bit. We can see a lot of Protoss players will cut gas as soon as they see command center first, of course, because they want to put up their own nexus as quickly as possible to not be behind economically. And YongHwa had accumulated a pretty good amount of gas before he actually decided to pull off that. And SCV finally gets taken out, but TaeJa sees everything he needs to.
Oh, that SCV was certainly a sniper. That much we know for sure. That was a very brave SCV to scout with only 5 hit points left, too.
Yes, it was, but he did serve his duty, built most of a command center, and then passed away into the night after scouting his opponent's base. Orbital command is finished, though, for TaeJa, and he does have 2 barracks up, but no inclination of gas quite yet, no additional barracks either.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to see 3 and 4 here, or if we're going to just see 2 gas. I would imagine it's probably going to be 2 gas at this point, but he is saving up some money here. Is this going to be a 3rd command center for TaeJa? I think it is. I think he's going to go for 3 CCs here. No, not quite yet. Nope. Okay, so it is going to be barracks. And
that was a really clever touch by TaeJa right there. He actually exposed his Marine so that he could pull back one behind the gas and survive for a little bit longer there. And he did a considerable amount of damage to the Stalker, so that was really, really cool on his part.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, you can really use those line-of-sight blockers well. Fast robotics facility for YongHwa. Get those observers out to see what his opponent is up to. Potentially get some Colossus tech started very soon as well. And TaeJa getting his 2 gas. So yeah, it will be, gonna get the Stalker.
No, pretty close to there, but the Stalker is going to survive with 22 hit points, trying to run around the side here, and we'll see if TaeJa is able to cut that off. But YongHwa does have his 2nd Nexus done. He's already transferred over quite a few probes to that, and he's powering ahead on 3 gates and a robo for now, so tech coming pretty quickly for him as well.
Yep, he takes that Zelnaga tower, so he gets a nice amount of vision right outside of his opponent's base with that. And meanwhile, back at home, TaeJa's put up 4 command centers, so this is going to be a very, very strong push that is going to involve Marines, Marauders, and probably combat shields and stim, and +1 even. So he's just going to have a huge army early on. It's going to keep him very, very safe. There's the engineering bay going down. And I'm kind of on the fence about how aggressive I think TaeJa wants to be with this. I mean, you can use this a couple different ways. Obviously, the traditional way we've seen it is pressure, but if you're worried about any sort of two-base all-in, you can use it to just kind of stay a little bit more safe, although you are running the risk of not having the tech you need to, but we'll see.
Robotics Bay and a Forge coming up for YongHwa at the moment. So with that Forge, he is going to delay his attack just a little bit and make sure you can get up a couple of additional upgrades. Looks like he will be able to reclaim control of the Xel'Naga Tower. Unfortunately, 4 Marines going down there without doing too much damage. A couple of sentries lost a bit of shields, but that was about all. Observer getting a pretty good look, though, around TaeJa's base and sees that that factory is only just now coming up.
Yeah, so he's going to know that TaeJa's going to have a decent amount of Marines and Marauders. More Marines than Marauders, obviously. You always want to get as many Marines as you can. I mean, traditionally, we used to see a lot of Terran players go for more Marauders early on. They're more durable, you know? But as Terran players have gotten better and better at controlling their units, they're like, you know what? Marines do more damage, so if we can keep them alive, why not just focus on that? And here comes that little push from TaeJa, timing this out with combat shields. And it looks like YongHwa, you know, he should be ready for this. He's got a decent amount of sentries here, but if TaeJa can catch him off guard, he could do some damage. He did manage to control that Xel'Naga Tower. Oh, but the Observer sees everything, so.
Yes.
Yep.
And it looks like YongHwa going to warp in some forces. Of course, he does have a Colossus that's just about to finish up. It's not quite out yet, but TaeJa's not pushing in either, so it will be ready for this defense.
Yeah, 1-1 on the way for YongHwa as well, so he's going to have a little bit of an upgrade lead. It's a very brave Marine. Brave, but stupid. And it did just die. Yeah. But, you know, at least now he knows that there's no third base. He knows that YongHwa's army didn't really take the bait and move over there. So TaeJa just kind of moves home. He's like, all right, I'm fine. I can just keep getting my upgrades, keep playing safe. I don't need to attack you right now. I'm surprised we're not seeing those, like, Gosu TaeJa scans to pick off observers, too. Usually we see at least, like, 3 die by now.
And looks like he's swapping over now to put up some air units here. So medevacs are going to come fast and furious. We also do have +1 armor on the way for him. So he's going to have a bit of an upgrade advantage as we see just +1 weapons on the way for YongHwa now. The range is going to finish up for him soon too. So he will have a powerful attack, and he's adding on finally gateways 4, 5, and 6.
Aside from the upgrades, a very similar push coming across the map from YongHwa. And we'll have to see if TaeJa's in a little bit better position to hold it this time than he was before. Catches some stalkers out there. He knows something's about to happen. Oh, he saw the Colossi. He needs to move back. Does he have the bunkers to survive this back home? He does have 2 bunkers, so that's going to be a good position for him, but no Vikings. His first Vikings are just on the way right now. He's got his SCVs in front.
No stim either. Stim's only 100 seconds of the way finished. So, a few SCVs being taken out right at the front.
3 SCVs.
The server does go down. Looks like it was just in range of that missile turret scanning range.
Yep. More Vikings getting closer to finish. But look at this. YongHwa can just sit there and pick off SCVs. This is really bad for TaeJa right now. He needs to deny or needs to delay until Stim comes out. He's got the range on those Vikings. Okay, that works. He can just kind of hold position above his bunkers. Stay a little bit safer there for the moment. But this is tense. Here we go again.
That's a fair amount of stalkers as well. They take a little additional damage. TaeJa able to repair that up pretty quickly. So the stalker's not really getting a whole lot done there. And it looks like YongHwa going to pull back for the time being. He has, of course, started a third command center coming up for TaeJa as well.
TaeJa, yeah, with the confidence to start that command center. And it's another one of those situations where YongHwa had a strong timing. He had a very strong push coming. But he took a look at it. He's like, all right, you know what? I don't think I could really efficiently kill off that defensive point that my opponent has. I'm going to sit back, take a third. We're going to go into a longer game. He's got Blink on the way. He's got +1 armor here. TaeJa now is going to have an upgrade again. This is like such a similar game to what we saw last game, actually. The only difference, a little bit faster upgrades for YongHwa, but other than that, very, very similar game, except that he's not getting Templar quite as fast this time, or quite as fast as Seed did, rather.
It is, but the one thing that really stands out in my mind as TaeJa makes his way up here is that he has his third command center coming up so much later. He didn't decide to get a natural first rather than going for the Code Banshees, of course, so his economy is going to be relatively similar. Oh, it looks like YongHwa pushing in a little bit, blinks up there, picks off one of the Vikings. But the damage, a couple of volleys went off on the Colossi. No, they didn't really take all that much.
Oh, man, TaeJa, losing another Viking. This is starting to get very dangerous for TaeJa. His Viking count is low, and YongHwa's just continued to make Colossi. He's got a 5th on the way right now. He's got such a strong army. And TaeJa, oh, man, he salvages bunkers. Oh, YongHwa's turning around, and that is like the luckiest thing ever for TaeJa, because YongHwa literally could have probably just walked in and killed him right there.
All right, so TaeJa going to make his way out with the drop, but look at this. The Observer is
Oh,
already
sees it.
in position. So
Wow.
YongHwa going to send some units up now to go ahead and intercept this.
Yeah, YongHwa with great map presence. He sees that army coming across. Really well played by him. And TaeJa, you know, it looks like he's got a sense of what's going on. Well, he sees it with those Marines. Yeah, great Marine positioning by TaeJa too. Saves that drop from being taken out. So all in all, this has just been a really great played game by both players. Both players having things in position to see what they need to see. Haven't really seen a player get caught off guard by anything quite yet. TaeJa, though, looks like he's going to try to go for another drop here. We'll see. YongHwa having to play a little bit more defensively, but I don't know.
Yeah, so as we mentioned before, you know, the upgrade advantage is a little bit not quite there anymore. It's interesting. You don't usually see Protoss Shields 1 research at this stage of the game, but it looks like it is going to be there for YongHwa when this happens. Certainly going to provide some utility as well, and does double duty against the Viking attack. So.
All right, well, that drop, biding its time right now. Oh, here we go. Distraction at the third base. And TaeJa could actually do a little bit of damage here. Running away and lifting up some units. The drop, though, not going into the main. Not quite sure what TaeJa really was planning to do with that. Normally what you do is you distract them at a different location and then fly your units into their main base or something like that. But TaeJa moving across the map with his army. He's doing a good job of making YongHwa think very carefully about where he wants his army to be. Because if he screws that up just a little bit, TaeJa could get in there and do a lot of damage. There's the incredible Miracle Bench. Intently watching.
Now, YongHwa is maxed. I mean, he is macroed like a beast. His upgrades, are, like we said, were coming along quite well. Looks like TaeJa finally going to drop here, and he is going to be able to get his units down, but are they going to be able to do enough damage? Looks like he picks off a Stalker or two, but really has to think about getting out of here. One blink from these Stalkers will be able to pick off those medevacs, and it looks like TaeJa knows that, so unfortunately losing some forces there.
Yeah, you know, he killed a little bit there, you know, a couple workers, a couple units, but all in all, not a very good drop for TaeJa, unfortunately. He's got that drop down at the bottom as well. YongHwa's base is just like a maximum security zone, man. I mean, it's practically like we're playing from Alcatraz here with TaeJa trying to get in there. But I don't know. TaeJa's moving across. Well, YongHwa rather is moving across the map right now with a terrifying army. TaeJa, knowing that army-wise, he's a little bit behind. He couldn't really engage head-on. Trying to get the drops to work, and this one's going to do a little bit more damage.
Yeah, that actually was pretty successful there. Let's see if he picks up. No. Oh, medevac does go down. So TaeJa does some economic damage, but he loses the units in return.
Great defense again by YongHwa, and he's got so many Colossi right now. How many Vikings does TaeJa have? He's making 4 at once. He's going to have 11 total after this army gets here, or after these Vikings get made. And he's going to have a good position for the Vikings in this fight, too, if he wants to, over that kind of empty ground, but this is not looking good.
This is still
so
scary. He stims up, but he doesn't have a ton of medevacs there, so the energy is going to be gone through pretty quickly. His orbital command already down to less than half its total hit points.
Yeah, YongHwa being so cautious about moving in here right now. He needs to make sure that it's a perfect occasion. Can TaeJa get a decent concave? The command center has to lift.
So he's already done some economic damage here. Blinking back, YongHwa has done his damage. He's waiting now for the rest of the army to group up, and he has it with those Archons making their way up to the front.
Well, YongHwa's taking a 4th base along with this, too, so he's going to be in a great spot. Here he comes attacking again, causing TaeJa to have to lift off again. Here come the Zealots. Oh, man, he's going for it.
All right.
Oh, the Zealots getting a little bit out of position there.
TaeJa is able to kill a couple of units, and once again, economic damage is done. 17 workers killed apiece, and we actually did have a warp in inside of the main as well, so TaeJa's production facilities are under attack.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to lose this barracks. The nice thing is that they can't get through. Oh, he loses that. Wow, he just actually lost that tech lab as well. And TaeJa,
wow.
Oh, man, both players, they're just being so cautious right now.
The Colossi do take a couple of volleys, though, so a little bit of damage done there, and it looks like TaeJa does have enough forces finally to repel this inside of the main, but not everything is up at the front. He himself is max, so YongHwa did delay long enough for TaeJa to have a decent army himself.
Yep, that's right. It's about even as far as the army goes, but you know, YongHwa's got some Archons. He's got those Colossi. TaeJa having to lift yet again. The big problem here is that look at the bank for YongHwa and then look at the bank for TaeJa. He has just not been able to mine as efficiently.
And as well, YongHwa's just been buffering the amount of gateways that he has, so he knows that immediately he can just turn around and reproduce his entire army. He just wants to keep denying economy, so he knows TaeJa can't do the same thing.
You know, and this is very like classic YongHwa here. He's always been one of the best Protoss players out there to prepare for remaxing after a big fight. He does it better than nearly anybody. He always has enough gateways. And he's got his fourth base up and running too. So TaeJa's got to make something happen like now.
He does only have 2 ghosts in this army. Very nice job getting off a couple of volleys there. Finally, the Stalkers blink in behind. Picks off one of the Colossi, trying to get another one.
2,
He's almost gets it.
Oh, he does. That helps. Here he comes. YongHwa now on the defensive. TaeJa coming into this fourth base. Does he have enough? He doesn't have any ghosts for EMPs.
Okay, but also I don't see any storms available as well, so TaeJa's going to be able to stand under this for a while. He's done a lot of damage. He's up by 50 supply now.
They're down. The Colossi are down. There's a storm.
But it misses everything, and TaeJa's going to be able to run in from behind as well, landing the Vikings right now. This Nexus is going to fall.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. The storms just were not there for YongHwa. He loses his fourth base. TaeJa with a pretty big supply advantage right now. That fight was huge, but don't forget that huge bank is coming into play now. We've got a ton of Archons. Team Liquid Pen Chef looking very happy there for the moment. And will TaeJa be able to press this advantage? Here we go.
Landing his Vikings once again. There's a few Archons there that's, the Vikings are going to be a little good for buffering some damage as well. But now he's just down to 2 bases. That's it. And look at this. He tried to drop at the same time, but TaeJa's able to pick off that Warp Prism too.
I can't believe this. YongHwa had such a strong army, but the positioning, remember, it's all about the positioning in late game TVP. TaeJa's was great, and this army is not going to win for YongHwa. He needs to run immediately.
Unbelievable. And TaeJa once again showing why he is such a strong player. No. A few zealots around the side as well. The AoE from the Archons proving to be pretty effective. Now we do have a Colossus making its way up as well. TaeJa reinforcing with a couple of units though, and are those going to be enough?
YongHwa with a fantastic flank, managing to push TaeJa back a little bit, but he needs to do damage in return. Look at this, the Vikings taking out the robotics facility. One Colossus pops out, wishing it had never been born probably, but YongHwa is still trying his hardest at the moment.
And TaeJa making his way back to some ghosts that launch some EMPs and really limit what the Protoss units can do there.
TaeJa's supply has dropped quite a bit here as well. Trying to get that last Colossus. Will he be able to do it?
Oh, look at that!
Wow!
Whoa! GG!